our guest speaker for today, the distinctive personality of Aisha Abdulkarim, who's going to take us through this topic, giving our backgrounds in this particular area of expertise. So let's quickly meet our speaker for today. Okay.
Perhaps we can give Vanessa a chance to say a few words about the importance of mental health to healthcare professionals until Aisha adjust her presentation and be able to share screen. Okay, so back to you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Mona. Well, welcome everybody to our MRN monthly meeting, and to talk about mental health. I think is just is extremely urgent, because we have been working hard to maybe avoid all the Anthropocene challenges and disasters that we are previewing, but we are kind of late. I guess it was this month, the global temperature went above 1.5 in June this month. So we are very likely, I mean, we are already experiences all these disasters that are going on, and I think this is going to be worse. So we should keep working to try to change this this direction of things, but we need to get prepared to face it and to adjust ourselves to what's coming, actually to what is already happening, right? So mental health is one of these challenges, because well, we didn't even understood what the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, the outputs of that in mental health, which is huge. We had been like for 2 years with a, you know, no life, is like at home or with this big challenge. And also not talking about this, of our lifestyle within this pandemic, but also what the COVID, the actions of the COVID in our mind. So we didn't even understood that yet, and we are coming to face all these natural disruptions, catastrophes. So we do need to talk about mental health. It's extremely important, and and especially for the professionals, health professionals, because we are going to be the ones who are going to be helping out people to deal with that. So it's like when you fly in the airplane, the lady says, you know, first put the oxygen on yourself and then on the kid. So it's something like that. We need to get ready ourselves as professionals, health professionals, to deal with that within us, to be able to help the others. So I'll pass the word. I think Aisha is ready, probably. So if you, yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Aisha.
Hello. Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
I will take this thing out. Sorry for the phantom, guys. I will take it out because the phantom, Vanessa, hold on.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. And Habib, yes, we can hear you very well.
Yeah, hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I guess, Habib, you can introduce Aisha's bio. Yeah, before she starts.
Hello.
Okay, so I will read the bio of Aisha, and this is my pleasure to do so. Actually, Aisha has multitudes of strengths. She is a biologist, environmentalist, sustainable development goals advocate, 21st century educator, learning and development officer, and a public speaker. So be prepared to a very insightful session today. She recently backed her master degree from the Department of Psychology, Health and Professional Development, Oxford Brookes University in the UK. Her research work on clinical psychology got approved and published by the Get Published team, Oxford Brookes University. So congratulations, Aisha. She currently works as a radiology assistant with Oxford University Hospitals NHS Trust, Oxford, UK. She's also a member of ACUFI and, of course, the MRN since its early establishment. And she's also a member of the Oxford Brookes Future Thinkers of Research, Innovation and Knowledge Exchange Network, which entails collaboration and multidisciplinary research that makes an impact on society and covers children, young people, healthy aging, climate change, inclusion, migration, refugees, creative industries, and artificial intelligence, and so much more. To remind you also, Aisha shared in the last Nova Institute conference with her brilliant talk on childhood obesity in Africa. So we will share this on the chat box so that you will get a deeper insight on this issue of childhood obesity. Today, Aisha is going to present with us a critical topic on mental health and its correlation to job satisfaction among healthcare professionals. So the floor is yours, Aisha. We are truly privileged to have you with us today.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Muna. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I am so privileged to be in the midst of healthcare professionals like this. Thank you very much. I'll just share my screen. Yeah. Was I muted earlier? I don't know why. Trying to see.
We could hear you, I guess. Share. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Please unmute yourself, Aisha.
We cannot hear you.
I think whenever I try to share my screen, it's muting my mic, my speaker. So probably I'll just send it to somebody. I don't know. I don't know why it's happening. Let me try once more.
Okay.
And share it
Yeah,
with
share it. Yeah,
Mr.
share it
Abe
with
so
me.
that he can
Yeah,
actually
I
share
will
from.
send you my email so you can say that I'll share it with you.
Now I guess it's working, but then you have to open your mic again, Aisha.
Maybe I'll just quickly share it to somebody then. Anytime I'm going to share the screen, it's muting my mic, so I don't know why it's that.
Please do this. You can share it with Vanessa.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
yeah. Oh, you can share it by the WhatsApp, or maybe it's easier. So.
So until we fix this technical issue, I would like to propose a question for everyone joining today. If they encountered on personal basis or someone in the surrounding environment of colleagues of workplace, anybody who got burnout, got any symptoms of severe stress, and how you were able to provide support or even advice. So, yeah, it's an open question for any one of us. For me, for example, I have students who have experienced severe mental health issues. Sometimes they drive themselves to take medications, drugs to make them controlling their psychological symptoms. But then I think that this is a very critical part of the story, because self meditation can be devastating. We have today Habib with us to discuss from a pharmacological aspect also how these drugs can have a very negative side effect, because they pass the blood-brain barrier and can be acting centrally on the brain. So it's very difficult to have this weaning from drugs if healthcare professionals went to this option. I usually advise my students, like, we need to have meditation, we need to think in a positive way, and we need to have like a journal of gratitude, because every type of work has its own challenges, and we have to deal with what we are facing, because we have a huge responsibility, not just towards our patients, but also towards our society at large. So I don't know if any one of you have encountered anything similar, uh, in a workplace, or even on family basis, on any friend of yours or anything like this. So we can chat a bit until we have the screen shared with Aisha's presentation. I think that this discussion is part of why we are having our meeting on mental health, and especially focusing on healthcare providers. So I can see Joe. Joe, you work as a nurse, and perhaps even you encounter a few of these scenarios. So the discussion is open to any one of you who have any ideas to share.
Yeah, so thank you, Dr. Muna and the team. I'm so happy to be on this call. As you rightly said, these cases are formed within our environment, but as a nurse working in the community, working in the hospitals, these are challenges that we usually face. But within our profession, we try our utmost best to see how we can mitigate and intervene in such a case. And especially when it comes to the issue of mental health, it's a serious issue in our country, especially talking about Liberia. Mental health issue is a serious issue, but um, people who specialize in mental health. But as a nurse, we try to provide our little support to people, be it suicide, be it emotional support. We provide our support in those directions. So from my end, I think it's important as a caregiver to provide support in every direction that we can to make sure that our colleagues who facing those problems have the optimal living they can have. So thank you, and over to you, Dr. Muna.
Okay. I got the presentation. Thank you very much, Joe, for this. Sorry, I interrupt Mona. Mona, just go ahead. And whenever I can, I have the slides. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Joe also for his insights. And without further delay, we can start the presentation with Aisha. And we will listen now, and then we'll further have our discussions after that. Thank you.
Okay, hold on 1 second, because I want that to be okay. And yeah, I will have to do my whole screen. So that's kind of okay. I will do it the whole screen is the only way. So yeah. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me try to open that better. Sorry. I mean, this is like apresentação de slides.
Perhaps we can continue this conversation on the chat. I can see new faces like
my goodness, I hope it's going on now.
Yes, it's perfect, Vanessa.
Okay, sorry for that. Aisha, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So sorry for the oh dear. Is there a way I can control it, or
I think I will do it for you.
okay. So hello everybody. As I was introduced earlier, my name is Abdulkarim Aisha, and I'll be taking us through the mental health and job satisfaction among healthcare professionals. And can you please move on? And we have our agenda here. We'll be looking at what mental health is, the meaning of job satisfaction, mental health and job satisfaction, why are healthcare workers likely to experience mental health problems, impact of COVID-19 pandemic, mental health awareness, then the Q&A session. So, yes, what do we mean by health? A lot of time when we talk about health, we usually focus on the physical health. Oh, I'm all right. I don't have any disease. However, we have other components to the health. The World Health Organization define health as the state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of diseases. So the World Health Organization grouped the health into three, where we have the physical health, the mental health, and the social health. And we can see it here in the health triangle. And it is like very important for us to balance all of it, both the physical, the social, and the mental. And if one of the if one part of it is not balanced, then we have a high risk of like exposing ourselves to like health risks and the likes. So we need to like ensure that all of the components are like balanced to be able to have a like overall general like good health in total. So, after talking about health, we can't talk about all of it today. So we'll be looking at only the mental health. And yes, can you go on, please? And if I can ask us just a quick discussion among everybody, that what do we understand by the term mental health? Maybe if you want to contribute, that'll be fine. Anybody can just unmute. Anybody that wants to share his or her own opinion or view about mental health, please?
All right. Maybe let me just chip in something.
Thank you, Habib.
Yeah, basically, I would say it has to do with the state of individual, talking about maybe emotional wise, psychological wise, even to some certain extent, even it encompasses social wise as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Habibullah, for sharing your own opinion about it. Thank you so much. Yeah, and you're very correct. Yes. Oh, okay. We have someone in the chat box. Is the mental health is the state of well-being of the mind and emotions. Thank you very much for that, Judy. Thank you so much. Is the state of well-being of both our minds and our emotions. Can someone, just one more person before we move on, to talk about their view about mental health? All right.
I could,
Okay.
yeah, I just could say that mental health is like the floor, right? If you don't have it, I mean, everything else is under risk to happen. And also that we have many levels. Sometimes just this state of distress or agony is already one level of mental health, not only like psychiatric problems, right? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Vanessa, for sharing that. I mean, if we are having like mental health challenges, then definitely both our physical and our social health is affected. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And can we go to the next slide, please? WHO talked about mental health, and they define it to be like fundamentally personal and subjective. What I think mental health is might be quite different from what you think mental health is. And it's kind of like relative thing, and it's like subjective and personal. However, they give like 4 different definition of mental health, where it's like a sense of like well-being, being alive, feeling in line with one's own belief and value, and this internal like peace, feeling peace with oneself, and being like positive and optimistic about life in total. So that's what like WHO perceive mental health is. However, it's still like personal and subjective. So you might see it as something like emotional and stuff like that. So yeah, can we move to the next slide, please? So we can also talk about mental health as the state of psychological state of living an active life, where you're like very energetic about yourself, about life in general, this enthusiasm for doing things, and even seeing life in a very good way. And for most people, finding a good balance with their life helps to sustain their well-being, and as well is like part of their identity. When you're feeling good internally about yourself, about everything, about your life, and when we're talking about mental health, it's not like only personal. We can also like extend it to your job, seeing your job, the kind of perception you view your job as. Maybe you're feeling like your job is all right, oh, I'm happy with my job. And that's why it's like a good mental health is like important, an indicator of the employee psychological status, and this directly have like impact on how you see your job, your perception about your job, and about job satisfaction generally. And we can now talk about job satisfaction as can you move on, please? We can now talk about job satisfaction as the way employees see, like the degree to which employee like or dislike their job. And even Locke and Lawton says that is like a pleasurable or positive state resulting from the appraisal of one's job. When you're feeling like, oh, my job is really good for me, I love it, I like going to work, this positive state of mind that, oh, your job, about your job and the kind of experience you have in doing your stuff and work at work. And this, when you are feeling really good about your job, or maybe the other way around, it's really like have influence in how your attitude and your feeling will be about your work. And we can also say that for healthcare professionals, is even employees generally, we can say that it has this impact on how productive you will be in work, at work, on how well you can able to like perform your daily duties. And in order to like achieve ongoing advancement, and the improvement of the overall healthcare system, then the healthcare workers' well-being and satisfaction is highly important, and it needs to be monitored. And we can also say that for a functioning healthcare system, there is always this motivated, this proficient and satisfied healthcare professional at the back end of it. And it's like really important for us to like know how we feel about our job. And if I may ask, how satisfied are you with your job? Are you really satisfied with your job? Just let's think about it. Can you move on to the next slide, please? Yes, are you satisfied with your job? Just like a 1 minute reflection to see, are we really satisfied with our job? What are those experiences we have been having there? And of course, every job has their own ups and downs, but really there are some things that are like, when you are satisfied with something and when you're not satisfied, we actually know what is actually good for ourselves. Are we really satisfied with our job? Just 1 minute. And if anybody wants to share anything on that, that's fine. Wow, Judy said yes, very satisfied and innovative, motivated. Thank you very much for that. Let me see. Oh, motivated to teamwork. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thanks for sharing your opinion on that. Thank you. Can we move to the next one, please? So now when we are talking about how satisfied are we as healthcare professionals, we really want to look at how our mental health is. So Abdul Karim affirms the finding of some researchers like Arshida, Colin, and other researchers that healthcare workers are facing the issue of like high workload, stress, burnout, poor working condition, low well-being, and even low quality of life, depersonalization when you're doing something. Sometimes you'll be doing things and you know that, oh, this is not me. So depersonalization, low pay rate, and all of these issues really affect the level of job satisfaction, and also can result to turnover rate. And some people might actually even leave their job or even having the intention of leaving their work. And the stress and all other mental health issues, we can consider it as one of the leading factor of lack of job satisfaction among healthcare workers. So all of these mental health issues are like one of the leading things that can result to lack of job satisfaction among healthcare workers. And can we move to the next slide, please? And even Rostami further said that not only even the job satisfaction will be like impacted, but the quality of care provided to patients, because when you are not satisfied, you just be doing anything at work, and you won't be able to deliver the person or patient-centered care you're meant to deliver. And as well that healthcare professionals are like they're essential in the healthcare system and the healthcare delivery, but we really are often faced with like high workload and emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, burnout, and really all of these mental health issues are not even only on short time. As Gary and Kalkali says, that it can even aggravate to like long-term mental health consequences. So we really need to look at all of this and really think about how our job and how our mental health are. Can we move to the next slide, please? So sometimes when we are like, people are entrusting us with the patient, oh, this is the patient, treat them or do like try to see how to solve their problem. And we will now be thinking, oh my God, how are healthcare workers also like having mental health issues? So here the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health have highlighted some things for us on how we also experience mental health problems. And all of these working conditions have always been challenging for healthcare workers, even before the COVID pandemic. And, some of these are like intensely stressful and emotional situation in caring for those that are sick. And I could remember then when you are like attached to a patient, and that's why it's really important to like separate your life, your work, and your life. Just try to balance it and not really put things like, don't let things get to your head really. So sometimes when we are really when we're caring for our patients, we really have sick people, and you see the kind of condition they are, you really feel like we are all humans, and you really feel this oh my God, how do I put it? You really feel this emotional, you really feel emotional about it. And someone undergoing pain, someone undergoing surgery, and all of those things, and even being exposed to human suffering and death. I can remember me working as a radiology assistant. I have working in the radiology department, you will see different people diagnosed with cancer, and you will just be like very emotional about it and even stressed about it. So most of this really get to our mental health. And I could remember the first patient that I had then, I was I was caring for the patient, and the next day when I came, and they were like, the patient is gone. And I could remember how I felt that day, and I couldn't even walk for a couple of hours, and I had to just stop and try to get myself together. And all of these things are really affecting the mental health problems of healthcare professionals, unique pressure from relationship with patient, family, when they are trying to let you do the unimaginable. They want you to do this within a couple of time. They want you to do that. So it's like all of these things really affect the mental health problem. All of these things really affect the mental health in healthcare workers. Can we move on, please? Thank you. And as well as the working condition, most healthcare professionals are like exposed to hazardous substances, even infectious diseases, COVID-19, hazardous drug, and all of these things are like really it's really have impact on the mental health, and also the it's demanding physically in a situation where you have a patient, especially those that are elderly, you need to really handle them the way you handle them, or those that are disabled. So sometimes all of these things has like impact on the mental health of healthcare professionals, and also the long and often unpredictable schedules, hours of work, where we have the shifts, long shifts, night shifts. I'm sure all of us know what this is like all about. Even some doctors or some healthcare professional will be like on call. Even if they are asleep, they wake them, okay, you need to come here. And all of these things really affect the life and work balance, of of healthcare professionals, and it really causes stress for them, burnout, and all other mental health concerns we have discussed earlier. And it's like what I've mentioned earlier now, that for many healthcare, unstable, unpredictable work life, when you went out to have maybe a nice meal, and the hospital just go, oh, you need to come here, how that can be, and how that can really get to your mental health. So can we move on, please? So all of these factors are like even existing before the pandemic. And now when the pandemic came, you know what it could be. And it's now like aggravate the matter, and, high workload for healthcare professionals hugely impact on both their physical and their mental health, as well as some healthcare professionals like suffer from job-related fear and anxiety, which can lead to like burnout, emotional exhaustion, and even mental exhaustion as well. When you are working and you saw a kind of situation where it really creates this fear and anxiety in your mind, you have this emotional exhaustion in you, and it's really like have impact on your mental health. Like all of those things cumulative, like they accumulate and can even aggravate to a long-term mental health situations for us. So all of these things, we need to like look at it and see how well we can be able to like balance the mental health of healthcare professionals. And can we move on, please? And even the research of Colin et al. Also says that more than half of the respondents, that is the healthcare professionals, describe their jobs to be very or extremely stressful. And it has led to like frequent alcohol consumption, depression, and even thinking of committing suicide. So we really need to, that's one of the reasons why like we really need to look at how our mental health state is, because all of these things little by little they aggravate and might really cause something of a long-term thing. So yeah, can we move on, please? So now what can we do about it? Can we just look at like what helps you feel mentally and emotionally well? If we can all contribute, just like a 3-minute discussion from us. Like what are those things that help you feel mentally and emotionally well? We can also use the chat box if you don't want to.
I can contribute
Yes.
because I'm driving, I cannot type. So
Okay.
I think that something very important that we need to confess that sometimes we cannot control some things in our life. So it's like control what's controllable, let go when you don't have the power to change anything. This is something that I truly believe in. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Mona, for that. I mean, sometimes you just have to let go, because we can't close the hospital and say, oh, we don't want more patients to come in, or because we are short staffed, we don't want more patients to come in. So sometimes we just have to let go and, feel that, oh, this workload is really high for me and I need to like chill and relax a bit. Oh yeah, someone is raising up. Yeah, Yimi. Yeah, please go on, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Am I audible, please?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, amazing. Thank you very much. So I would just like to, in a way, build on what Dr. Mona has said earlier. There are something that could be controlled and there are something that could not be controlled. So excess workload, a lot of burden being placed on healthcare workers, now healthcare settings. We need to know who is responsible for that. Is it because necessary structures are lacking? Is it because the government has not employed enough persons? So I think if we are able to sort that problem, if we are able to provide solution to that problem from that angle, I think it's going to lessen the burden on healthcare workers in that respect. And I think that will help them in a way. Another thing is, somebody posted something in the chat box now. Well,
Okay.
I think scientific research has actually proven that when people pray, actually, in a way, it has a positive impact on their mental health. So I would suggest that people who are faced with issues like this, all right, especially for cases where they cannot control it, rather than giving themselves to alcohol, which will have effect on structures in their body, I think they can take time to pray if there are people who are religious. Just to add that. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Yumi, for that. I mean, yeah, you really said the important thing about it. Thank you so much. Yeah, prayer is really important. And Judy also talk about
Yeah,
taking walk, listening to classic music, praying, and being mindful in all activities. Thank you for that. Yes, yes. I
yeah,
think someone is
yeah,
about to say something. Yeah.
yeah. In addition to what, let me quickly build on what Yimia said about being prayerful. If you are the prayerful type you believed, I think that one will help a lot. Together with that, I feel like social support is very important as well. Maybe family members, you have friends, you talk to
Right.
friends, you connect and the like. Then self-care. I think one of the things that healthcare professionals don't actually do more is self-care. It tends to prioritize their patients more. Of course,
Yeah.
patients are very, very important. That's what you need to do. But at the same time, you need to prioritize yourself. Self-care is very, very important. And the last thing I felt is very important as well is the two, emotional awareness and a balanced lifestyle. Because most times we tend to look away that we don't actually have a balanced lifestyle. Health professionals, they don't. Tends to focus more on the work because they are passionate about it. Whereas they need to at least strike a balance between their work and other things that they found very appealing, that appeals to them. So I think
Right.
that's just my little contribution.
Oh, thank you so much for that. That's so interesting. Yes, yes. I mean, most healthcare professionals don't really care about themselves. They'll be like, oh, work, work, work. And you don't know that little by little, some of those things are like coming into you. And before you know it, you're depressed. You want to kill yourself and, stuff like that. Thank you very much for that. Oh, Samuel also said that I think one important key to managing mental health is realizing that you are mentally stretched. Yes, thank you for that. Yes. So many people are not self-aware of the reason for their sadness or do not even know they are beginning to feel depressed. Yes, yes, so true. Where there is awareness, then expression is key. Talk to someone, God, friend, a pet, family. Just let it go. Let it go. Bottling up the pressure does the greatest harm. Thank you so much for that. Yes, yes, you're right. And Teresa also said dancing. Yes. Yes, to let out the stress, talking to friends, taking long walk. And Colin also say always plan time for short road trips. Yes, take a walk. When you are taking a walk, you are letting all of those things out and letting out the stress. Yes, thank you so much for that. Thank you everybody for your contribution. And I mean, what almost like everybody have said what is coming, the next slide, and we have all contributed to it. Thank you so much. I mean, we can actually stop the stress. Yes, we can actually stop the workload, but there are ways to cope with it and there are ways to manage it, which we have all, contributed. Can we move to the next slide, please?
Yeah,
Oh,
let
sorry.
me just, I can't find the thing to raise the hands here. So
Okay.
I just, sorry. Yeah, but everything that I was going to say, everybody said. I was just going, lifestyle, I think is main thing, because, if you include like exercise, contact to nature, eating right, sleeping, having some time for connections like family, friends, this is very important. And also something that we didn't mention is that related to that food is our microbiome that is totally connected with our mental health. So lifestyle is very important, especially what you eat, because it's going to change your microbiome, and it's totally related. And also another thing that I would like to say is about spirituality too. I think somebody said something to pray here in the chat,
Yeah,
like
right.
Munira, and I think this is another way to reconnect, within. When this is connected to meditation, mindfulness, and another thing that was not said is to control information, because
Yeah.
nowadays, it's like if we don't organize a limit, it's like 48 hours a day, of messages. And then, we need to start social media and WhatsApp. Everything needs to be kind of controlled somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, thank you so much, Vanessa. Yes, you need to control the social. It's true. It's really affect everybody. Sometimes where you need to just relax, you still be on your phone, pam, pam, pam. Yes, we need to control that. Thank you very much, everybody. I don't want us to stop. I want us to keep going on and on, but our moderator will come and say that we need to the time is up, so we need to just continue. Thanks everyone for your contribution, and I really appreciate. So most of all of those things we have said, how to cope with stress and anxiety, fight or flight, exercising. Sometimes you can even try to meet up with your manager to say that, oh, this is what's actually happening to me. Try to redesign your job. They might even try to take some role out of it, and to make you relax a bit. And even social support, someone mentioned it, have time to connect with your family, your friends, and even those people that are experiencing the, let me say, similar thing. I think I was on one group, and it's about anxiety. It's like anxiety group where people share how they're able to manage their anxiety, and how they're able to cope with how their daily life is going, and the anxiety, and how they're able to manage it. So relaxation technique, yes, where many people say dancing, talking to a friend, going for a walk, connecting with nature. Most of us have said that. And as well as time management and prioritizing, where we try to make a to-do list. And we can also adopt the 4 Ds of time management, where we do the first D is to do it if it's something really urgent. The second one is to delete if it's not something necessary or something urgent or something that you can actually take away. You take it away. Try to just let go of some things, as Dr. Mona have said. And sometimes you can defer it, in the sense that you can try to make it later thing. If it's not something really urgent at that moment, you can be like, oh, I can do this tomorrow, I can do this next week. And sometimes you can, the last days, to delegate, give somebody else to do it. Don't try to take all of those workload for yourself. Try to give people out, and try to let go of some things. And if you're able to really prioritize, then you can actually cope with the workload, the stress and anxiety. And trying to cope with anxiety, that will lead me to the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. That's the next slide, please. Next slide. Yes, so this technique, this grounding technique, is when you are feeling stressed or anxious, or this anxiety, you can try to look at, okay, the 4-3-2-1 technique, where you try to say everything out. You can talk about 5 things you can see. Oh, I can see the sun, I can see animal, I can see the chair, I can see the deck. 4 things you can actually feel. Oh, I can feel the feet of the floor, I can feel the decks, I can feel the pen, I can feel this, that. 3 things you can hear. Okay, I can hear the clock ticking. You need to say it loud to yourself, and I can see the clock ticking, the wind blowing, peers talking, the trees, the sound of the tree moving. I can see the 2 things you can smell. I can smell food. Okay, I can smell food. I can smell perfume. I can smell the fresh cut grass. All of those things you can smell. 1 thing you can taste. Oh, I can taste breakfast. I can taste my saliva. I can taste toothpaste. I can taste like chewing gum, or all of those things. I mean, before you even start saying everything, you might not even get to 3 things you can hear, and you'll be like, oh, I'm feeling better now, really. So this technique has really, it's really working, and it's worked for me really when I'm having like this kind of anxiety, or when I'm kind of stressed. So if you are saying it loud, before you even get to the last one, you'll have feel like really relieved and settled, and just try to feel better a bit. So, and another important thing about mental awareness is that we should also try to read more about our mental health, how we can cope even at workplace, even at home, not only even our work at home and other places as well, how we can cope. If we're able to have like enough information about mental health, then we can like try to cope with it and try to like survive in a way. And when it's like getting too much, when it's something you cannot like take in anymore, you can like see mental health specialist or talk to family, friends about it. That, oh, we shouldn't keep things to ourselves. There's this proverb that says that a problem shared is half solved. Sometimes you don't even need someone to solve your problem. Sometimes you just need to say it out. You just need to speak up, and you can even figure out how to manage yourself. So I hope I've been able to like deliver the topic. And yes, thanks so much for listening. Can you move to the next slide? Thanks so much for listening, and I will really appreciate your suggestion, question and answer, comment, and yeah, thanks so much. And we have the reference.
Thank you so. Okay, thank you so much, Aisha, for that wonderful, insightful, and then interesting topic that it involves all and sundry, and everybody were able to resonate with what you're saying, and with all the key information you had for us. It was highly interacting, and I'm sure that if we had more time, we'll have extended and interact, and because everybody's ready to pour down what's on their mind regarding mental health. A lot is actually going on in the world. A lot is going, and people want to gyrate. Let me put it that way. You want to see somebody you can talk to, somebody you feel relaxed to, somebody that can actually feel what you're feeling, that can actually resonate to some certain extent to what you're actually feeling. I think it gives some sort of succor, some sort of peace and tranquility when you see individuals that can actually resonate with you. So thank you so much for that brilliant and wonderful session. There's one thing that was said during the course of the presentation. I think, I'm not sure if it was Vanessa, she made mention of microbiome and how they are related to our mental health. Yes, I quite resonate with that research. A lot of research studies are going on with regards to that our stress response is in tune with the gut microbiomes. So that's why we need to be very careful and avoid antimicrobial use, and we should be very careful with the use of antibiotics because they tend to alter the gut microbiomes. As a result of that, our stress response becomes very low. So thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who has made a significant contribution to this insightful session. All right, so I'm going to throw it open to question and answer segment. I know that. Oh, all right. Yes.
Hello?
I think
someone, yes. Someone mentioned on the group about a gratitude journal, and that really like helping, like, distressing. Sometimes I even usually have this coloring book I use anytime I'm stressed. I just start coloring like kind of hard. So it's really important as well, and it's do help. Thanks, Vanessa. Dr. Mona, thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's amazing. All right, so quickly, we're going to move on to the section where I know that a lot of us want to ask questions. I'm trying it open to the house to ask questions. Yes. Please feel free to ask questions. I think this is a very interesting topic. I'm still very happy about this topic because it's very interactive. Please, if you do have questions, you are free to ask, or probably you have contributions, suggestions, or comments. Anybody? Okay, Alex is about to say something. Okay. Nathan, all right, you have the floor.
Thank you, Habibola and Aisha. So I just want to invite everyone to think about what has been presented and what has brought us together here in the MRN and a Kofi space, and just to think about moving forward, how we can do even more and somehow think about applying these principles of connection and even humility, groundedness that are actively health promoting, and just to speak a little bit about how we got together and the story that we can tell about how we came together as a global or planetary community who share an interest not just in human beings and our own personal or even community well-being, but also the well-being of all creatures, all of nature, all the animals and plants and fungi, the microorganisms even that are in a symbiotic, balanced relationship, helping us moment by moment to be healthy, well, grounded and balanced. And just to think about how I believe many more people can benefit from this recognition in the modern world, that there is so much separation into constructed human-centered spaces where there's no life even with the plants or hearing the birds, feeling the wind. So just an invitation to reflect on even appreciating all the work that has been put into bringing us together and keeping us together, and even to envision maybe for our children how healing spaces like clinics or hospitals could hopefully be much more like the way that our ancestors lived, in harmony and in balance with nature, and then to think about how we can join together to build that beautiful, green, healthy, and sustainable future together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nathan, for that wonderful piece, and it's very enlightening, and you've shed more light to a lot of things that we said already, been said during the course of the presentation. Thank you so much for that. Okay, I don't know if you have any other individuals that have one or two things to share. Can be suggestion, experiences that we've had that help us to actually navigate through our mental health stress and issues. If you have anybody that actually want to share. Maybe okay, Yimni. Yeah, you have the floor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. This is perhaps going to be a little bit a kind of deviation
With me.
I think you're
With me. We can hear you properly. It's a kind of interference. Maybe if you take out the phone, if you have a headphone, maybe take it out.
Just mute yourself. Okay, oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, better, much better. Perfect. Oh, but he muted.
muted currently.
Yeah. Is it still happening? If you have headphones, maybe if you take it out.
Yes. Okay, while Mimni is fixing his device, let's have Yusuf. Yusuf, you have the floor.
All right, thank you so much, and my greetings to everyone. So what I want to say is not too much. I just want to commend Abdulkarim Aisha for that a wonderful presentation, because it's such an amazing and interactive session, and interactive session on mental health. And what I would like to say is I'll come in through one of usual saying of one of my professor in school. He would say, as a healthcare professional, ensure that you remain a catalyst whenever you are working with patients. What does it mean by this? You need to, we know that a catalyst remain unchanged at the end of the reaction, right? So you need to, like, while trying to provide care to your patient, you just need to look after yourself as well. Do not become a catalyst. Make sure you become a catalyst at the end of the day, so that you don't end up being used up in the course of trying to provide cure for your patient. Because there are some cases of collapse of healthcare workers in my institution, the College of Medicine here at University of Ibadan. So you can just wake up and you hear that one of the healthcare professional collapsed and he died. So, which means he or she might have worked out. He might have stressed. Himself, and then probably maybe he or she is going through mental suffering, but he's not reaching out to people. He's not reaching out to people that would like advise him, or he's not taking necessary measures such as exercise, or trying to like engage in other activities that will allow him or her to free his mind, or he's so much concerned about the well-being of his or her patient. So in light of this, I would just say, while trying to give cure or render assistance to others, we should also make sure that we prioritize our health. So thank you so much once again, and that'll be all for now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yusuf, for that well-noted insight. Thank you so much. I think from what I can, the synopsis of what Yusuf is trying to resonate with us is just self-care. That's the importance of being wealthy, and the well-being of healthcare professionals cannot be overemphasized. So it's very, very important for healthcare professionals to take care of themselves as much as they want to take care of the patients. Thank you so much for that. However, let me quickly throw this question to Aisha. Over time, we know that we're from the Africans, LMIC, specifically Africans. We have challenges with our healthcare system. One major issues that we have is bad or poor remuneration. And I don't think you speak in that volume. How do we address that in line with mental health? Poor remuneration and mental health. Can you say anything about that? Thank you.
Oh, the topic was on mental health and job satisfaction. So I just mentioned it briefly at the beginning of the topic. And yeah, we can't rule that out. Of course, one of it's like very important for us about the salary and how low they pay healthcare professionals. But then there are some times where you just be like, if you are able to like move to a place where it's like okay or all right, then it's like important to move. And actually I can't really address that because I'm not the I'm not the organization or the company or the hospital one is working with. it. But with that as well, one still need to like do all of those mental health techniques and those things that can work
Yeah.
for you to be able to relax and not really like don't get that thing really on your edge because sometimes it's really difficult. Yeah, it's absolutely, yeah, it's very really difficult. But even with that kind of challenge, which is if you see that it's really getting to your mental health, then you need to like take caution of it and being able to relax and try to let go out some things. And you should also know that not like not money is not all the like it's not only money. There are sometimes you need to just be satisfied and be like all right internally yourself. But yeah, I can't rule out the fact that money is really important. However, if that is really like affecting, then one can try to see the way out and try to talk to people, or if you can actually talk to your manager about it, or maybe the head of the hospital about it. And if there is a way they can like address it, and if not, then if one can actually try to get another place, and that will be fine. But if not, then try to do all of those mental health awareness techniques to be able to relax and let go of that stress. So that's what I can say about that. I'm happy if anybody can like contribute to that as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And there are a lot of messages in the chats. Samuel making his point a lot. At the end, it's your children who will remember that you worked late. Humans are social beings. We all need to learn to manage our social interaction efficiently. Don't overwork yourself. Learn to take break, and you don't need to finish that paper in 4 weeks. That's very, very important. Sad people, that's for you. Catch yourself. Yeah, thank you so much. No, research is not more important than your health. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I don't know
Yeah,
if you have any
I'll just
other.
add that there's
Yeah,
this proverb that says that health is wealth. So look after
yeah,
your health before, yeah. Yes. So it's really
yes,
important.
yes.
Thank you, Samuel,
Thank
for
you so
that.
much. Yeah, yeah. Let's take Judy. Okay, Judy.
Yeah, thank you very much. That conversation was very interesting. And I feel that as the mental health is increasingly important, and as we appreciate the place of research and this kind of conversations, I feel that this platform is very place of the environment, and I maybe just a suggestion or a question, if there is a way we could continue to advocate for ways in which you can leverage the healing aspect of the environment through this platform, so that healthcare workers can be aware that there are ways in which we could have holistic approaches to our well-being. Because I'm from a healthcare setting. I work in a public hospital here in Nairobi as a psychologist, and there are ways in which we've worked around taking care of our mental health, like through supervision sessions. Though I feel that is not enough. I think even just appreciating, the environment, how we can really find ways of connecting the environment. I think that aspect would be important to come a bit more, or to magnify that a bit more through this platform. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Judy, for that. You actually shed more light by making us remembering that the environment is also very important to our well-being. And thank you so much for that wonderful thoughts and insights. Yeah, I don't know if you have any other individuals that wants to share one or two things before we draw the curtain. Okay, from Percy. Percy said, at what point does the healthcare worker need professional help with his or her mental health? Yeah, Aisha, over to you.
I can't actually say that at what point, but because when we are talking about mental health, it's kind of subjective and personal. So you will be the one to know that this thing is getting out of hand for me. So I think it's kind of personal. And when there are some symptoms, some withdrawal symptoms, or when you are not able to like do those things, you when you are not feeling alive, or when you are not active
Yeah.
as you usually be, or when you are not like enthusiastic about things, being positive about things, or maybe optimistic about things, or being active in the environment, or even seeing your life as a like, being happy about your life, or things like that. So when you are not seeing that in yourself, I think one might need to seek a mental health specialist on it, or if you are able to like talk to friends or speak with your manager or colleagues, people that can help you about it. So you know yourself, you know how you usually feel on a normal day, and how when things change or when it shifts, so then you should know that I need to take a step on this. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. I think, and in nutshell, we're trying to say that emotional awareness is also very, very important. So
Yes.
you need to, yeah, you need to be emotionally aware about your own self-being. What are the changes that have happened over time? Do I do this? And I think you mentioned something about the 54231. I think it actually correlates with that, how you can just assess yourself within a short space, that okay, what has changed over time with me and the likes. Thank you so much for that answer. Yeah, do we have any other individuals that wants to share one or two things before we draw the curtain? Okay, from the chat box, quite a lot here. So, okay, can I read this? What's the status of the mental health? Okay, yes, thank you. So this is another question. What is the status of the mental health in the specific areas within Africa? What are the current gaps in knowledge and resource that prevent us from understanding the problems and solutions? And does the level of interdisciplinary interaction promote mental health and meaningful interdisciplinary opportunities available in specific settings? And the last question here from this message is that is mental health significantly better for various professionals and even other populations like children and students? Yeah, in settings with strong and intentional access to nature and green space. I don't know, Aisha, this is quite a very encompassing questions, and I don't know if you can just shed some lights on that before we call it a day.
I would just say that for the first one, that like in Africa, there's like really a gap in it compared to other like developed part of the world, where they, even in schools, they already have like mental health awareness, and where they even like celebrate mental health. Like this is like they usually celebrate mental health in May. Yeah, it's the mental health month. And yeah, there is really a gap, and it's something we need to like really look into. And even, yeah, it's this kind of setting that will make us like aware about what mental health is, bring up those issues in school. I mean, children or students also face all of these things, even in schools, even at home, at the workplace as well. So I think getting resources, most of the resources we can get are online for us, and they're available. And okay, I don't know if what are the current gaps in knowledge. Yeah, I mean, when I was trying to do the research about mental health, I mean, we have lot of materials, but many materials are not like coming from Africa, which I think we need to like really look into in Africa as well. So if we can have like further studies that are being conducted in Africa, that would be really good, and how it can be advocated, and the awareness within the populace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And okay.
yeah, please go on.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at the second question, but if
Yeah,
anybody
the second question is,
about it.
okay. Yeah, I think the second question is actually talking about the interdisciplinary interaction. Does interdisciplinary interaction promote mental health? Definitely. And I
Yeah.
think this is a perfect example of a setting that people with different ideology, people with different field of study, different field of discipline comes together to interact with one another about their mental health. I think, yeah, it will go a long way to solving mental health issues. And I think the third question says that, wow, okay. Okay, I think just a second.
Yeah, I mean, it's talking about how mental health is significantly better for various professionals. I mean, that's why I'm saying that it's not even only for healthcare professionals. Mental health is for everybody.
Yes,
Yeah, it's for everybody,
exactly.
irrespective of where you're working, who you are, and your belief, your religion. It's like for everybody. So we really need to look into that aspect as well. So mental health is for
Yeah,
everybody, not being specific to to healthcare professionals alone. Yeah.
not only health professionals. Yeah, and I think there's one question there that was being asked by Nathan. I couldn't locate the chat. He was actually talking about how we can better the space. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So it's like maybe he's asking the everybody that has your involvement in MRN or
Oh,
the
okay.
improve your mental health. Of course, this kind of setting, we are all like rubbing minds, talking about how the impact of mental health in us and how we are able to like deal with it. And I think it's something that has been helpful. I don't know if other people can also share their opinion about it, but yeah, to me, I mean, this today, I'm already like feeling really good about it. Yeah, yeah, I'm really feeling good about myself, and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
so.
same here as well. It's very like enlightening. It's interesting and it's awesome. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. And we can check the chat box. We will see the YouTube videos of Akofe October Mental Health Day. We can also see a published paper on the mental health by Professor Susan Prescott. So there are a lot of resources that we can actually harness to better our orientation about mental health and how to navigate mental health issues. So this is another paper by the MRN members, Vanessa, Yusuf, and Dr. Muna on the correlation among dietary lifestyle. So these are papers, these are resources that will help us to further understand the concept of mental health and in general. All right, so I don't know if you have any persons that have one or two things to share before we call it today. All right, okay, let me see. Okay, in the absence of none, this is to remind everyone that we're going to be having, okay. All right, okay, there's still a lot of messages in the chat box. All right, so this is just to appreciate each and every one of us for taking the time to attend this meeting. We sincerely appreciate each and every one of us, and I'm very certain that we've learned one or two things, and if you've not been practicing one or two things to better our mental health as health professionals or as individual, I think these presentations has shed more light and has given a direction towards how we can better our mental health. So I really appreciate each and every one of us for our awesome contributions. So yeah, thank you so much. And I just want to bring to the notice of all that MRN will be celebrating its second anniversary by July, God's willing, and then members will get the evaluation forms through their mails. So we should expect that, and we should act accordingly by filling up the evaluation form. So thank you to everyone, and I don't know if Dr. Mona has anything to say.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Thank
Vanessa,
you.
do you have anything
No,
to say?
thank you, Abibola. I was kind of waiting to say what you just said about
Oh,
the evaluation form. So thank you.
all right.
And
You're
also
welcome.
our anniversary, 2 years next month.
Oh, okay. All right. That's awesome. That's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
All right.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Habibullah and Vanessa, for making this discussion such a rich one. And I truly want to thank Aisha for her beautiful presentation. It was so thought-provoking, and I truly acknowledge your effort in bringing the message in such an interactive way. And just to recap on what Vanessa and Habib have just said, that we are going to celebrate our 2-year of anniversary next month. So just stay tuned. When you get the invitation, we will be happy to celebrate with you. And I wonder if Samuel has a few words to share also with us. If not, then perhaps Nathan can close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mona. Just to check, Samuel, anything to share?
Well, just that I'm grateful to have you people besides on the journey. Thank you.
Yes, and gratitude from my side. I know for me personally, this is a special and healing space, and in many ways reflects not just our dreams, but the dreams of the planet and many living beings that through their energy, through their healing power, I believe are working together with us to try and make this kind of community much more the norm, because it is what we need. We need each other. We need to have hope and health and healing. And we do that by coming together to speak about solutions, to speak truth to power, and to make it so that the brokenness, the negative energy, and even all of the death and disease that we see so many places, that we don't accept that as being inevitable. And together we come together to co-create the health and healing both inside and outside. So just encourage us all to really ground ourselves in that positive healing energy, and then moving forward, just to continue the path that we are on, knowing that exciting good things are yet to come. Asanteni sana pamoja twaweza. Thank you all. Together we are able.